It seems like Twitter is getting worse every day. Firstly, Elon Musk just had a giant win in this legal process when Elon was granted an access to a person, which is a former Twitter executive that might be key in his legal battle to win. With that, Twitter has announced giant changes on the platform, including about user verification process and how users will be able to see how many people viewed specific posts. Moreover, Twitter just acknowledged to employees that the legal battle with Elon is having a horrible effect on the company. As a result, Twitter is in big trouble. The company lost billions of dollars, and it's not looking good because the company is on the brink of collapse, is facing a loss in revenue, is getting doubts from clients, and as employees of Twitter were informed, it will directly affect every single member of the company. This is a very interesting story, so let's explain it. Well, a court order issued recently asked Twitter to provide Musk with documents from a former Twitter executive. This executive is who the billionaire claimed was crucial in determining how many fake accounts were present on the network. Chancellor Kathleen McCormack of the Delaware Court of Chancery ordered Twitter to gather, examine, and submit records from the former general manager of consumer products, Kayvon Bayakpour. Bayakpour was one of the executives most intimately involved with determining the number of spam accounts, according to Musk's court documents. And interestingly enough, Bayakpour left Twitter after the social media businesses entered into a deal with the industrialist. And to further prove his claim about the excess of fake accounts, Musk requested access to 21 more individuals who had access to important material. But this request was rejected by McCormack. Not one to give up, Musk's legal team sent a letter to McCormack pleading with her. They wanted her to order Twitter to provide the names of its employees so that they might be questioned. But the judge has decided that Twitter will only have to turn over the data of one bot checker, who just so happens to be the company's ousted former product chief. And that's not all he's doing, as the Tesla CEO's also currently pursuing two ad tech firms in his hunt for answers. He has since served subpoenas on Integral Ad Services, IAS, and Double Verify. Both these ad tech companies help advertisers in identifying whether actual people or bots are viewing their ads. Musk's attorneys are questioning the businesses in an effort to gather evidence, including papers concerning their potential involvement in the review of Twitter users' accounts. And there's opposition on both sides, as the social media giant has repeatedly denied Musk's allegations that it misrepresented the number of actual active users on its site. The company instead claims that the richest man on earth broke his promise to buy it, and it wants McCormack to order him to close the sale at $54.20 per share. Despite this highly publicized conflict between the two, Twitter's engineers are continuing to add new features to the site. The users can't be suffering due to all this, after all. As it turns out, the social media site may soon tag verified user profiles' phone numbers with the phrase verified phone number. App analyst Jane Munchin Wong believes that only users whose profiles have a blue tick will see the tag, which is shown beneath the user profile. And not just that, as the analyst also claims that each tweet on the site may soon have a view count. But we don't know whether this view count will only be available to the author or to everyone else too. And you have to remember, Twitter allows its users to link up to 10 accounts to a single phone number. And get this, developers can now even tag automated accounts, letting users know whether a message was made by an automatic system or a human. This is especially useful when you take into account small businesses on the network and how they'll find it easier to communicate with their market. What we're picking up from this update is that Twitter wants users to confirm both their phone numbers and email addresses. But some people have raised eyebrows at this potential change in the site. The reason why is simple, since a recent investigation by Bleeping Computer showed that a hacker allegedly sold Twitter account data of more than 5.4 million users for merely $30,000. So it's pretty understandable that many users are worried that their privacy and safety will be even more at risk. But some credit is due, as Twitter has closed the security gap and said that they would soon notify anyone whose information was compromised. This upcoming update isn't the only reason the company is in hot water. Voting rights experts recently criticized Twitter for not doing enough to combat false information during the midterm elections. After the whole takeover fiasco, the microblogging network has been on a rough road. It recently told its staff that given the current state of the economy, they may only receive half of their annual bonuses. According to the New York Times, the corporation cited poor financial performance for the decision to reduce compensation in an email to the staff. Things aren't looking good because for the first time since 2020, Twitter recorded a loss in revenue. According to Reuters, the company recorded second quarter revenue of $1.18 billion, down from $1.19 billion in the same period last year. Ned Siegel, Twitter's chief financial officer, wrote an email to the company's staff, informing them that the company's financial difficulties will have an impact on their yearly incentives. These yearly incentives are currently only 50% of what they could be if Twitter had completed their financial goals. There's been some new developments in Tesla too. Recently, Elon Musk sold about $7 billion worth of Tesla stock, and it's caused some confusion. But here's the thing, the multi-billionaire always appears to have a pretty good sense of what he's doing, so it's important to consider why he has sold these shares at the time that he did. Now, as per Forbes, Musk sold 6.88 billion shares worth of Tesla stock recently, or about 7.92 million shares. And prior to Musk's trial with Twitter in October, the material was made public in regulatory filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. According to the documents, the sale took place between August the 5th and August the 9th. And on August the 4th, Tesla hosted his annual shareholder meeting. Now, here's the thing. The SEC has some very strict rules governing when powerful individuals at a company can sell stock and how they must disclose any sales of shares. Now, these rules are designed to reduce insider trading by those with early knowledge of upcoming events. Not to mention, they often apply to the CEO, CFO, and board of directors members. So, this might have contributed to Musk's decision to sell his shares at that moment. Not just that, as it might also have been connected to Musk's upcoming trial in October. And as it turns out, he might be required to pay a termination fee of at least $1 billion or carry out the original terms of the purchase. But there's always a loophole, and this time, Musk may be right. It's possible that he can prevent the merger and actually keep the entirety of his $44 billion. And get this, he might not even have to pay the termination fee if he succeeds in his countersuing over bot data. Now, let's go back to Tesla, as similar to the sums he sold in former years. Musk has sold more than $15 billion in Tesla stock this year. That's a lot, and Musk actually tweeted a poll asking followers if they believed he should sell the stock to pay more in taxes. The people gave their verdict, and once the results came in, he sold about $16 billion worth of Tesla shares. Not to worry, though, as the man still owns about 15% of Tesla stock, despite selling $32 billion worth of the company's shares over the previous year. And before this, Musk had already sold $8.4 billion worth of Tesla stock in April. In April, Musk had tweeted, "No additional TSLA sales planned after today." So, it makes us think that the sell-off this month may not have been completely pre-planned, at least based on what he said in April. Tesla had only recently started to think about a stock split at the time. Musk's positions, fortune, and general leadership qualities speak for themselves. And Tesla investors appear appreciative enough that their CEO might have more time to concentrate on the company in the years to come, even before his Twitter trial. So, it's pretty clear to us that Twitter's taking every precaution to avoid answering questions about how many spam accounts it has. The SpaceX CEO's main reason for walking away from the deal may have weight to it, after all. And Musk may be able to avoid the lawsuit if he can demonstrate that Twitter's method of determining spam accounts isn't accurate. And knowing the man, he might expose more about the company than we'd ever imagined. Well, that's a wrap on this video. So how do you think the trial will go? And will Musk have to continue with the deal? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye!